there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video, comic book edition. Since the last comic book video that I made, these were the comic books, not all of the comic books however, that were waiting for me at the local comic shop. Unfortunately, when I went to pick up my comic books, I was a little short on cash, and I left behind 10 books. I left behind the Clone Conspiracy. I left behind an issue of Amazing Spider-Man, Death of X, 2 issues of Uncanny X-Men, the Extraordinary X-Men Annual, and a couple of other stuff. So I was short in cash, I couldn't pick it up. But fortunately, I have a good relationship with my comic shop because I've been buying books from them for years and years. So they left those on my file. But these are the comic books that I could afford. So like always, I wanted to share them with you guys. So first off, I have Action Comics. Like I said, I wanted to pick up Action Comics because Dan Jurgens is writing Superman, and he has the voice of Superman down. And there's this whole new 52 Superman died, but there's a human Clark Kent running around. So you got pre-Flashpoint Superman, a human Clark Kent, and this whole mystery that's going on. This one doesn't resolve anything. The only thing that is proven is that that Clark Kent is human. That's it. So it doesn't really resolve anything. But I like the writing. I like that the classic pre-Flashpoint Superman is back. You know, married, and he has a son, and I dig that a lot. So yeah. And then in Action Comics 965, the new 52 Lois Lane died in Superwoman. Lana Lang is the one that's actually the Superwoman. So pre-Flashpoint Lois Lane usurps the Lois Lane identity. So now you got the take charge, take no gruff Lois Lane in the Daily Planet. So of course she doesn't know. The people in her universe are kind of similar in the New 52, but she has to, you know, fake being this Lois Lane. But again, I like Dan Jurgens writing Lois Lane, so this is part 1 of I don't know how many. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Picked up Amazing Spider-Man issue 18. I left Amazing Spider-Man issue 19, but in this one, Dr. Octopus can't take being stuck in the human brain any longer, and he asks, you know, what happened to the Superior Spider-Man. Spider-Man says that he sacrificed himself because he acknowledged that, you know, Spider-Man was the superior person. But of course, the Dr. Octopus that lives in the human brain downloaded his memories before the whole Goblin situation, so he doesn't believe it. This is still the egotistical Otto Octavius that learned nothing from his time in the Superior Spider-Man stint. So yeah, they're teasing that Dr. Octopus is going to come back. Picked up Spider-Man and Deadpool, which is now a monthly. It's confirmed, it's a monthly. And Deadpool, who's now handsome, is hanging out with Spider-Man. And then someone makes this kind of fusion of Spider-Man and Deadpool with just this spider chick. This is a pretty cool series. I thought it started off, as far as I remember, as a mini-series, but now it's a full-flown monthly. But it's pretty good. The Kelly and McGinnis issues are pretty good. The filler issues are hit or miss, but the main storyline is pretty cool. And they're still kind of peeling away the whole Mephisto deal, so something's going to happen with that. Picked up, actually this is out of order, picked up Batman 7 and Batman 8. This was part of a huge Batman family crossover where Hugo Strange creates an army of Monster Men, which is why it's called the Night of the Monster Men. It crossed over between Detective, Batman, Nightwing, and Batgirl, I think. But of course I only pick up Batman, so that's the only thing I bought. So I'm missing a good chunk of the story, but it's basically the Bat family trying to stop Hugo Strange's army of giant monsters. So this is issue 7 and issue 8. Picked up Civil War issue 5. I'm not digging Civil War, despite the fact that it has massive delays. The storyline is just not really that cool. That's why I'm not picking up any of the side garbage. I'm only picking up the main storyline, and it's crap. This one has a big fight between the army of Tony Stark and the army of Captain Marvel. And Ulysses has another vision where Ultimate Spider-Man, Miles Morales, kills Captain America, and everyone's like shocked that that's going to happen. But a friend of mine that collects Captain America told me that because Captain America is an agent of Hydra, he's manipulating everything so to take out the bigger threats to his Hydra thing. It's not a good series, honestly. I like Secret Wars a lot more than I'm liking Civil War 2. Picked up Justice League issue 5, where they conclude the whole story arc where they're fighting these big ass creatures, and then a new one starts in issue 6, which is State of Fear, where this fear effect is hitting the whole world. So, digging Justice League too. Picked up Hellblazer. I'm still not a fan of the artwork, but it's the only DC book right now that has Swamp Thing, and I dig Swamp Thing, and I'm going to support this book because I want a Swamp Thing monthly. So hopefully that happens. Picked up the last issue of Deadpool vs. Gambit. This crossover wasn't that good. I was expecting a little bit more because it's Gambit and Deadpool, even though the two characters kind of don't mix. But yeah, the other miniseries that's going to start up is Deadpool Back in Black, where Deadpool bonds with the Venom symbiote. The first issue, unfortunately, I had to leave behind. I left that one behind, and I left Thundercats, the Thundercats and He-Man crossover. That one really hurt, but I was short on cash. I'll pick it up next time. But yeah, this concluded this. Then Superman 7. This is a break issue where after fighting the Eradicator, Superman and his family take a little break and have a fun time in Smallville. Pretty good. And then things get crazy again with Escape from Dinosaur Island, where Superman and Superboy are stuck in Dinosaur Island. But I really like the dynamic of Superman and his son. Because again, this is the Superman that I grew up with. This is pre-Flashpoint Superman. And it's awesome to have him back. And I love the fact that he has a family. Because, again, I have a family, so I can relate to Superman, which is cool. Picked up Godzilla, Rage Across Time. I don't collect Godzilla comic books, even though I love Godzilla. But the premise of this one was pretty cool. I bought the first issue because it had Godzilla in feudal Japan. And I'm a huge Japanese, especially samurai period mark. And that one had the one. And in the second issue, they promised a battle between Godzilla and the Olympian Pantheon. And this was a pretty fun read. The only complaint I have, and I mentioned this on Facebook, is that there's not enough Godzilla versus God action. You see Godzilla, they tease Godzilla versus Poseidon. Unfortunately, it's the same problem I had with the Godzilla movie. They tease this really cool stuff, and then they cut, and then you only see the aftermath. Because you see Poseidon, that he's going to attack Godzilla, and then they cut, and, Godzilla's there. And you see Ares, the god of war, going after Godzilla. And you do see Godzilla fire atomic breath and disintegrate Ares, the god of war. So in the end, it's just Zeus versus Godzilla. But what happens to Zeus, I thought was pretty cool. Fun issue. I really liked it. It felt like a short issue, but it was a lot of fun. And the next issue promises to have Godzilla in Arthurian Europe, England. So that I'm gonna pick up that one too, because this is fun. I'm digging this Godzilla miniseries. Picked up my yearly tradition. I watched the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, and I also pick up the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror comic book. The stories, both in the TV show and in the comics, are hit or miss. Sometimes they're really funny. Sometimes you might get one good story and 3 duds. Sometimes you might get the old stories are duds. This one it was entertaining. It had a parody of Ghostbusters. It had a parody of the old Looney Tunes cartoons. Some things were hit or miss, but it's still my yearly tradition to check out the comic book Treehouse of Horror, and if I can, watch the show, which this show was the 600th episode of Treehouse of Horror, and again, it was kind of hit or miss. Picked up the last issue of Darth Vader 25, the big conclusion to this super awesome comic book. It got delayed a bunch of times, unfortunately, but I love the cover, I love the writing, I love the artwork by Salvador Larroca, and it's a damn shame that this thing is ending. But yeah, Darth Vader destroys Professor Silo. He gets into the good graces of the Emperor, and in the end, he kills Dr. I forget, Afra. But she had a backup plan, and I read that they're going to do a monthly series based on Dr. Afra, so that should be cool. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up, but it should be cool. Picked up Old Man Logan, issue 12. Still, you know, talking about the Silent Order, and you know, the dynamic of Old Man Logan is that they skip to the future, and then they skip to the present, which is actually the past. It's very cool, but the artwork is the best part of this. So, loving Old Man Logan. Also picked up All New Wolverine, issue 12. Last issue, Old Man Logan stabs one of the other X-23 clones. Laura thinks he killed her, but it turns out she has a healing factor. It just took a little while to kick in. But Laura basically doesn't want anything to do with Logan. But in the future, he says that X-23 and Gabby, I think her name is, end up killing each other because she's a bad seed. But of course, she does. X-23 says that that's a possible future. It's not his future. It's not her future. She won't allow her to go nuts. But you know, it's a possibility. And in a rather bizarre move, they're doing a sequel. They're doing a sequel to Civil War, and they're doing a sequel to a Wolverine storyline where Wolverine got evil and started killing innocent people. That's going to happen here. Enemy of the State 2. Now, the thing about X-23 is that when she was created with a chemical that would trigger her Berserker Rage. So someone sends her a vial of the trigger, she tries to go into hiding, and at the end of the issue, there's these planes that kind of like spew the trigger into rain clouds, and then it's raining green rain, which is the trigger. So basically the premise is that she's going to go nuts, and she's going to butcher this whole town where she was hiding at. It promises to be a very dark time for X-23, and I'm interested. I hate the fact that they're doing a sequel to this, but I am interested in seeing where they go with this, so this should be interesting. Picked up Wonder Woman number 7, which is present time, where Wonder Woman is fighting this ancient god that turned Cheetah into the monster that she is. And the end of the issue, Wonder Woman kills the jungle god, thus saving Steve Trevor, and also it seems that it reverted Cheetah back into her human form. And picked up Wonder Woman issue 8, which is a flashback issue where they show the origin of Dr. Minerva, who turned into the Cheetah. And in this one, they showcase that she was an archaeologist that thought that the Amazons were real, even though everyone told her it was just a myth. But she became obsessed with it, and she wanted to prove that the Amazons were real. So it's an interesting look back at the Cheetah character. Again, I have my issues with the way that the story is playing out. It's distracting to me that it's modern time flashback, but the writing and the artwork is pretty awesome. I can't complain about the artwork, but it's kind of distracting to me. So yeah, like I said, I left about 10 comics behind because I was short on cash. It's a bummer. Like always, I like to recommend the books that I enjoyed the most. Gonna go with Old Man Logan. Next year, there's gonna be the last Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie, and I've heard rumors that it's gonna be the Old Man Logan storyline. Unfortunately, because of the dispute between Fox and Disney and Marvel, they can't use any of the Avenger characters, so it's going to be only X-Men specific, which does take away from the scope of the original Old Man Logan storyline, but I'm still looking forward to it. I hope that one does very well, because I do believe that Hugh Jackman deserves a good send-off to his Wolverine character. And I saw a teaser where they showcase Wolverine's hand and a little girly hand grabbing him, so I'm guessing that the theory that X-23 was going to pop up is true. So, yep, Old Man Logan, definitely cool. And, of course, Darth Vader 25, the send-off to one of the best series Marvel has produced in recent times. Love the writing, love the artwork, love the characters. The two Psycho Droids were fun to read. Dr. Afra, I don't know. She has a weird name that I have trouble remembering. She's a cool character, and you know, I might pick up the first issue, but it won't compare to the awesomeness that was Darth Vader. Loved this series. This series was amazing. If you can pick it up in a trade, do so. This is fun. This is a great read, and it's just super fun. So yeah, that was the short comic book pickup video. Like I said, it would have been longer if I would have picked up the other books I left behind. But next month, when I go pick up everything, you might see a bigger stack and a longer video. But I guess these short videos are also cool, so you know you don't hear me rambling for too long. But like always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you all again, this was Vargas XX78, thanking you and signing out.